Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Book Review Thursdays, where I review books that I have read and nearly lose my grip on them. I keep flinging these things so hard that one of these days it's going to fly out of my hand and crash into the TV behind me. It's so very violent. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. If you followed my Booktubeathon videos, you'll know that I was reading this as part of Booktubeathon. But the truth is, even if I hadn't participated, I would have picked this book up anyways because I really wanted to read it. It is a fantasy adult novel, and it's also the first novel by Erin Morgenstern. And I know I typically leave my little 5-star or whatever rating towards the end, but I just want to say I absolutely love this novel. I just want everyone in the world to know that I am in love with The Night Circus. Okay, maybe not in love, but I really loved Night Circus, and I recommend it. But we'll get into the things that I liked and disliked, because even if I loved it, there's still things that I didn't like about it. So Night Circus is about two magicians, Celia and Marco, who since childhood, from around the age of 6 or 7, have been bound to each other to compete against one another. And Celia was bound by her father, and Marco was bound by a man, usually only known as the man in the gray suit in the novel, who decided to adopt Marco from an orphanage just for the purpose of being Celia's competitor. Now, things get complicated because Celia and Marco end up falling in love. It's not so bad though, because this competition isn't kind of like a duking it out competition where they have to hurt each other. It's more a competition where they have to kind of see who has the better skills. But a really big problem is that neither of them understands the rules of the competition, and their mentors really don't offer any clues either. So no one knows what really qualifies one as being better than the other, or how they ultimately determine who the winner is going to be. So the Night Circus comes into play because for every single one of these competitions, because there's been past ones, there always needs to be a stage for them to occur, and so the Night Circus is born out of this need of a stage. But the stage now includes a bunch of other people that are directly affected by this competition, although they don't realize it in the beginning. I was about to say they don't. I don't know. I went really ghetto there for a minute. They don't. They don't realize that they've been involved in a competition. So that brings a slew of even more problems. And while the book mainly centers around Celia and Marco, we do get glimpses of other people and how they're being affected by the competition and by being part of the Night Circus. So that's kind of give you a good idea. You guys can go ahead and check out the official synopsis. I imagine it'll be either on the publisher's website or on the author's website, or just if you look at it through Amazon or probably even Google, you can see that the synopsis in the book is a little misleading because it does give the impression that it's like some kind of fierce battle between the both of them, but it's really not. There's no direct contact fighting going on whatsoever. Now, I really loved it. I thought it was hauntingly beautiful, whimsical, melancholic. It's a drama fantasy. There's really no kind of moments of comedy or happiness. It's just kind of a somber tone, but it's very appropriate for the setting of the story itself. So things that I really liked were the book is broken up into 5 parts, with each part having a set number of chapters. I didn't go ahead and count down each chapter, but every chapter works like a piece of a puzzle. So you'll read something, it'll kind of end abruptly, and you're like, whoa, I need to know more, and then the next chapter will pick up somewhere else. And at first it's a little frustrating, but then you'll start to see that all these pieces fall together to give you a larger picture and make things a little bit more clear. Another thing that I really liked is that it jumps through different time periods. So sometimes the one chapter will be in the present, one will be slightly in the future, or it'll be slightly in the past. So the author's giving you a really broad scope of everything that's going on with the characters, why things are the way that they are, and so you get this world that's super elaborate. Even though in the beginning you will be a little bit lost, the world gets really detailed the further you go along, and as long as you pay attention to the dates on the top, you will have a sense of what age the characters are at that specific part in the chapter. So as long as you're really paying attention to what you're reading, you'll start to get into the pace of how the book works. And I felt like every chapter was like a mini TV episode interconnecting with another episode until you get to the end. I really love that. I thought the story overall was really good. The pace it was pretty decent, and books in the beginning tend to be really slow until you kind of catch the idea of what's going on, and then they take off. And I felt that with Night Circus, once you really understand what's going on, it takes off like that, and you really don't want to put it down, even though you need to sleep and eat and, you know, associate yourself with other human beings so you don't become a shut-in and people start getting worried about you. But I never had a moment where I was bored or wanting to put it down. I did see some reviewers that were complaining about the story being misleading, but hopefully you guys won't feel that way. It's just the synopsis. What else did I like? I like the characters. I think they grow really well, but because the chapters jump from one period to another, you get to see their growth in like a really weird jumbled up way, but I promise you it'll make sense towards the end. I really liked Celia. She was probably my favorite character in this book. Marco is more of a surprising character that you start to see really what he's like towards the end of the book. I love the circus itself. I wish that a circus like that existed in real life, because I would totally be there every night. So not to give off too much spoileriness, but I mean, it's called the Night Circus. That should tell you something. That circus is only open from sundown until sunup. I would totally love to visit a circus like that. The setting of the circus was really awesome. I think it gave a really nice backdrop to the story itself, because everything pretty much comes back to the competition and to the circus itself, so you never lose sight of the circus within the novel. I really love that, and I love how detailed Erin Morgenstern was in describing everything in this world for us, so you never feel lost. You understand all the characters, you understand where they're coming from, you get tidbits about their life here and there, so everything is super detailed. Love that. On that same coin, the details get a little bit annoying after a while. Like sometimes it's too much, or it's unnecessary describing. So in the first couple of chapters of the book, she keeps referring to the man in the gray suit over and over again. Like within the first couple of pages, she says man in the gray suit 20 different times, and at that point you just want to rip your hair out. She also excessively describes the circus. Like there's a point where you already feel like you know the circus enough, where she doesn't have to keep beating on that dead horse of like the circus this, the circus that. It's like, okay, I get the idea of what kind of circus it is. You don't have to keep repeating what the circus is about. So details, although are really great, I love when authors get super detailed. In this book, it just goes a little bit too far. It's just a little bit too much. Another thing that I hated was kind of the way the story ends for Celia and Marco. So there's a little bit more after their part of the book ends, and it's great and all that, but I didn't particularly like the way things ended for them. They didn't end badly, but I wish that I had been offered a little bit more. So in that aspect, I wish that Erin Morgenstern had gone a little more in detail to what happens to Celia and Marco after the events of the story that leads up to the conclusion of their particular story. Because like I said, there are other characters that do get mentioned in the book and a little more detail into them. But that's pretty much it. For the most part, I really did. I loved it. I really loved this book. When it got my attention, I knew that I had to read it, and I did, and I was glad that I did. So the ending was fine. I think it concluded the book overall pretty well for the Night Circus part. Again, the Celia and Marco thing, I think, needed a little bit more work, but that's fine. The book overall ended well. This is a single standing novel. This is not part of a series, so no more Celia and Marco, unfortunately. And out of 5 stars, I think I would give Night Circus a 4.5. I'm only taking off 0.5 points because of the excessive detailing overall, and then not enough details where it needed to be put, like the Celia and Marco thing. Oh, it just drives me crazy, you guys. I just needed some more of that Celia and Marco relationship to be fully satisfied. But if you like fantasy novels, I definitely recommend picking up The Night Circus. It's a beautiful novel. It should definitely be part of your collection. It's super magical in a really special way. I've never personally read a novel like this, so yes, highly recommend it. Anyways, you guys, that's it for Book Review Thursday. If you like this video, and I'm eating my hair right now, gross. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments below if you've read the book or if you're interested in knowing more about it. I will definitely answer questions. And as always, consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!